The movie begins in the spring of 1987. A woman named Young Ro lives with her friends in a female hostel at Hosu University. Young Ro is a first-year student. She has a soft heart and cares for others. On the other hand, a man named Soo Ho, a graduate student, becomes the center of attention of the girls. Soo Ho studied economics in Berlin and returned to Korea to write his thesis paper. On one occasion, Soo Ho was forced by his friends to go on a group date with the girls from Hosu University. On the meeting day, his friends were anxiously waiting for their date, who never came, while Soo Ho was busy piling matchsticks alone. It wasn't long before the girls finally arrived, and one of them was Young Ro. At that moment, the match Soo Ho had arranged fell apart due to his friend's overzealous reaction. Young Ro, who saw this, had a reflex to hold it in. He also looked at her, and from that moment, the seeds of love between them began to grow. Young Ro was disappointed because her first date didn't meet expectations. It turns out that they made a rule that their dating opponents were determined randomly, and she didn't pair up with Soo Ho. The next day, they met again at a record store. At that time, Young Ro was listening to music while singing along in a loud voice. Unknowingly, Soo Ho was also there, watching her with a smile. After realizing it and being embarrassed, she rushed away and accidentally bumped into him. When she is about to pay for the tape, it turns out her wallet is empty, so she doesn't buy it. Soo Ho chased her and gave her the tape while walking away from the record store. Feeling bad, Young Ro chased Soo Ho and put the tape back in his pocket. At that time, he was hiding from the police who were looking for someone. She thinks that Soo Ho is the student involved in the demonstration, and she decides to help him. She pretends to be couples fighting, so the police officers finally leave. Soo Ho is very grateful, and he returns the tape to Young Ro. Finally, she accepts the tape, but considers it a debt she will pay back later. She asked to meet with him again at the cafe before. Afterward, she left him while running, feeling very happy. The whole way, Young Ro just smiled and ignored everything. Even when she arrived at the dorm room, she smiled as she kissed the tape. So happy, she recorded her story into a blank cassette. But that happiness disappeared when Soo Ho did not attend the meeting they had agreed on yesterday, and he was never seen again. At that time, South Korea was under the rule of a dictator. Those who did not agree with the government at that time also held demonstrations so that the government system was changed to democracy and determined a new president. During the chaos, the greedy higher-ups devised a plan to maintain power. Those involved in the plan include a man named Tae-il, the general secretary, a man named Chong Soo, and the director of Kye-Boon Ok. To maintain power, they must destroy the reputation of the opposition party, which could potentially take over the government. To carry out the plan, the officials from South Korea need the help of a man named Lim Ji-rok, a North Korean official. Incidentally, Ji-rok needed an injection of funds for his party in North Korea, so they also worked together to realize their wishes. 6 months passed, revealing that Soo Ho was a North Korean spy. He is assigned to bring Professor Han, one of the public figures from South Korea. Soo Ho and his friends manage to bring out the target, but the action fails when a group of Kye-Boon Ok intercepts it. Kye-Boon Ok is an organization known to be cruel and very feared. Their task is to eradicate parties threatening state security, including students involved in demonstrations and opposing the government. During the chase in the forest, Soo Ho is separated from his friends, and his body is full of wounds. He hides in the female dormitory, where Young Ro lives without realizing it. It was then that he was destined to meet her again. Seeing Soo Ho injured and unconscious, she immediately rushed to help him. After what happened, Kye-Boon Ok's group barged into the girls' dormitory to look for Soo Ho's whereabouts. The students were scared, and a woman named Pi Seung Hee, the hostel's director, told them to lock themselves in their rooms. On the other hand, Young Ro's friends know Soo Ho's whereabouts and agree to hide him because they still think he is an activist in the demonstration. Unable to find Soo Ho, Kang Moo, the leader of Kye-Boon Ok's group, pulled his entire army back. On the other hand, one of Soo Ho's friends is caught, but he ends his life to protect his honor and his mission. At the dorm, with the help of a dorm keeper, an old man named Mon Dong, Young Ro and her friends take Soo Ho to an unused warehouse. They hid him on the dorm roof just to be safe. Young Ro treats his wound, which makes him wonder how he can repay her kindness. On the other hand, state officials are unhappy with the current situation. Because what Soo Ho did was part of their cooperation plan with North Korean officials. They wanted to tarnish the reputation of the opposition party through Professor Han and make it look like he was collaborating with North Korea. That way, people will not vote for their party in the next election. The higher-ups were also trying to stop Kang Moo from interfering. Unfortunately, he is very stubborn and thinks that Soo Ho is a spy who must be caught immediately. As the days passed, Young Ro began to secretly deliver food and other supplies to Soo Ho. On one occasion, she finally met her older brother, who was very busy. The presence of her older brother means a lot to her because only he can understand her situation. especially after their mother died and their father remarried. Knowing this, Soo Ho tells her he also has a very valuable figure while showing his dove necklace. He explained that the necklace was a gift from his younger sister, which meant a lot to him. She smiled because she thought the necklace was a gift from another woman. As time passes, when the female dormitory opens to the general public, Young Ro takes Soo Ho out to mingle with other people. After various trials, they manage to get out of the dormitory on a bicycle without anyone suspecting it. On the way, she asks if he remembers his dorm's phone number so they can communicate again. Soo Ho did not answer and remained silent because he could not give uncertain hopes. Their escape goes smoothly before Kang Moo notices Soo Ho's presence and starts hunting him down. It's hard to leave Young Ro, but it's a reality that he has to face as a spy agent on a mission. But his feelings could not be lied to and began to be unstoppable. He stops in the middle of the road when the snow starts to fall. He turns to Young Ro and gives her his dove necklace as a thank you. He can't promise to see her again and only hopes she will be okay after all the chaos. Not long after, Kang Moo loses track of Soo Ho and he is annoyed. Meanwhile, Soo Ho meets his friends again, who manage to survive, and learns that one has ended his own life. At Kye Boo's headquarters, Kang Moo gets a lot of questions from a woman named Han Na. They used to be couples who were ready to get married, but he left her for no reason and only returned when he had a mission to catch Soo Ho. Kang Moo was the type of person who would disobey orders if he thought it was wrong. Because of that, the people around him might get hurt on principle. And that's why he chose to leave, but Han Na didn't notice. At the dorm, Seung Hee finally finds out that Young Ro had hidden a man in the warehouse. According to the regulations, Young Ro and her friends were found guilty. They must accept the punishment and will be expelled from the hostel. Young Ro kneels in front of Seung Hee so that she alone is punished because she was the one who planned everything. Moreover, two of her friends are final year students about to graduate and she doesn't want to ruin their future. On the other hand, Soo Ho finally managed to convince Professor Han to go to North Korea after Soo Ho told him that his son was trapped there and only Professor Han could bring him back. The mission is successful and Soo Ho asks his friends to leave while he will take the weapons and half the money that South Korean officials have hidden in exchange for their cooperation. South Korean officials promised to pay off the remaining rewards when the mission was completed. At the dorm, Young Ro prepares to leave her friends. She desperately hoped to get the last phone call from Soo Ho. But the phone call she got was from her stepmother, who said that she is the biological daughter of Jong Soo, a high-ranking state official who cooperates with North Korea. After that, she pours her heart into a letter that she folds into a paper airplane and flies outside the dormitory. On the other hand, Soo Ho goes to the hill near Young Ro's dormitory to get some money and weapons hidden in the ground. On the way home, he sees a paper airplane and remembers Young Ro. On the night they were locked in the warehouse, he once comforted a frightened with a paper airplane. He reads the message on it, and it turns out the plane is from her. Soo Ho felt very guilty, but he couldn't do anything then. Not long after, Kye Boo, who managed to track down Soo Ho's whereabouts, returned to chase him. Seeing this, he was surprised and hid in a room with a man who was also afraid of Kye Boo's existence. Soo Ho walked down the hall inside the cubicle that turned out to be connected to the female dormitory. Unfortunately, he ended up being surrounded by Kye Boo. Soo Ho, who was cornered, finally met Young Ro. His mind was confused, and he deliberately held her hostage in front of many people. Not long after, Soo Ho's friends came to pick him up, making things even more chaotic because there was a shootout between the two sides. However, they could not survive because there were only 3 of them. He threatens to blow himself up with the hostages and asks everyone to come out except Kang Moo as bail. Kang Moo agrees, even though he is already injured. He feels responsible for the safety of the innocent female students. In the end, everyone in the dormitory stuck to their orders. Meanwhile, the country's top brass are getting increasingly annoyed because their plans continue to fall apart. Young Ro was shocked by what happened. She felt sad and disappointed in Soo Ho. She never thought she had helped a North Korean spy and even liked him. He was forced to do that because his country's mission was at stake. He can't believe he will show his worst side in front of her. However, he can't give up because his friends' lives are also in danger. After what happened, the top brass tried to save Soo Ho and his friends. Meanwhile, agents from North Korea have managed to bring in Professor Han. But in the middle of the trip, they met with the South Korean military and eventually, a shootout ensued. At the dormitory, Soo Ho looks for an opportunity to treat the wound on Young Ro's hand. At that time, her attitude may change, but not her feelings. She asks desperately if he is a North Korean spy, but he didn't answer and just told her to keep quiet if she wanted to survive. During the confusion, he remembered Ji-rok's words about how important the mission he was carrying out was. It is revealed that he is actually Ji-rok's son. On the other hand, a man named Ju carries out his mission to keep an eye on Soo Ho and gets orders to eliminate him if he feels his ideology has changed. Soo Ho negotiated with the higher-ups over the phone. He asked them to send a doctor into the girls' dormitory to treat one of his friends who was injured. Because the situation is so urgent, Tae-il is forced to persuade a mistress who is a doctor to enter the dormitory. Soo Ho discusses with Seung Hee to exclude students with a history of illness. After recommending several female students, Seung Hee pleads with him to let Young Ro and her roommate out because they are stubborn and might do dangerous things if left unchecked. In the middle of the election, when Young Ro and her roommates are chosen, a woman named Kye Boon Ok, the dormitory operator, gets irritated and screams that this is unfair. Seung Hee asks her to be quiet and not to pay attention to him. Other students think Young Ro gets special treatment because Soo Ho knows her. She refuses to go because she feels guilty. Boon Ok said the selection should be random, and the other students cheered for her. Angrily, Soo Ho explains that Boon Ok is actually on the list of people who will be expelled, and it's all thanks to Seung Hee pleading with him. But after what happened, he granted her a request to choose a random student. Dr. Kang, Tae-il's mistress, finally enters the dormitory. It turns out she keeps a very surprising secret. Although her identity is known as a doctor, it turns out that she is a spy from North Korea who is highly respected, and Soo Ho respects her. Her arrival was unexpected and unplanned. In the end, Dr. Kang gets orders from her superiors to help them get home safely. On the other hand, after installing a bug in the dormitory, Chung-soo finally found out that her daughter was there. He doesn't realize that because his relationship with Young Ro is strained, especially after he remarries. However, he wouldn't let her daughter get hurt, so he looked for a way to save her. He received news from the military, who fought, that Professor Han had been shot dead. And it turns out Young Ro's older brother is also a victim of the battle. His condition is critical, and he orders Chung-soo to take care of Young Ro before he finally breathes his last. Hearing the news, Young Ro burst into tears. She didn't think her older brother had died until she fainted. Knowing this, Soo Ho helped her. Dr. Kang, who saw their closeness, asked him to confirm his ideology, which seemed to have begun to waver. He tells a lie that he has no feelings for Young Ro. It turns out that Dr. Kang has secretly had feelings for Soo Ho all this time. In the past, Soo Ho had saved her while on a dangerous mission. Dr. Kang falls in love with him, but her feelings are not reciprocated. Seeing Young Ro wearing the pigeon necklace Soo Ho gave her makes Dr. Kang sure that Soo Ho likes her. State officials finally found a solution. They manipulate the news and explain that Professor Han died while trying to defect to North Korea. As a result, the reputation of the opposition party is getting worse, while their party continues to get praise and is sure to win the election. To keep the situation under control, Tae-il asks Soo Ho to stay for 1 week until the election is over. The scene then shows Kang Moo manages to break free from his ties, and he learns of the bad plans of the higher-ups. He also finds a secret room belonging to Seung Hee, which explains that she is actually a member of On Gi-bu, who is in charge of observing students and reporting on them. But so far, she has never really reported the actions of the female students. Instead, she tried to protect those who became activists. While trying to escape, Kang Moo was surprised when a group of soldiers shot him instead. At that moment, he was convinced that his existence was no longer needed. He sees an opportunity to expel the female students with Seung Hee, who hatches a plan to shoot Soo Ho and his friends. But when Kang Moo and the girls try to escape, Dr. Kang reveals her true identity and blows up the dormitory. Luckily, no one was injured in the incident, so they didn't run away. After mourning his son's death, Chung-soo returned to the defense base. He was worried that something had happened to his daughter after hearing the news about the explosion. He asked Soo Ho to prove that Young Ro is fine. That way, he promised to make a new plan to bring Soo Ho home. Soo Ho takes Young Ro to meet her father from a distance. When Young Ro tries to talk to her father, Kim Ra-chu thinks that she will reveal Dr. Kang's identity and shoots her. But the shot was missed because Soo Ho was protecting her. In the end, Dr. Kang gives orders to tie Young Ro in a hole with Kang Moo and Seung Hee, who are the masterminds behind the escape of the female students. At that time, Soo Ho was angry with Kang Moo because his escape plan could endanger the students. Kang Moo said he just wanted to save them, just like Soo Ho wanted to save Young Ro. He knows that among the other friends, only Soo Ho has doubts in his heart, so he tries to wake him up. After observing Boon Ok's actions, Dr. Kang realizes that she is the type who would do anything for money. Dr. Kang invites her to join her and help her take care of the students. Boon Ok agrees, and she gets some money in return. On one occasion, Soo Ho got a voice recording from Han Na, who turned out to be trying to find the truth during the chaos that was going on. The recording contains a conversation between Tae-il and Ji-rock, who agreed to blow up the spy with the hostages. In exchange, North Korea will get hundreds of millions of dollars. Han Na hopes the tape will convince Soo Ho to defect and help her release the innocent female students. Soo Ho recalled his past memories. It was revealed that he was only an adopted son who was used to becoming a secret agent. Ji-rock once picked it up on the street when he tried to beg him to save his dying sister. In return, Soo Ho is willing to devote himself to Ji-rock and obeys all his orders. After remembering all that, he didn't wonder why Ji-rock had the heart to abandon him. In the end, Soo Ho decided to abandon his mission and free the hostages. Soo Ho released Kang Moo from his bonds and arrested those who did not agree with him. Kim Ra-chu was not arrested because, from the start, he swore to be loyal to Soo Ho, who had helped him in the past. The female students are freed to work and finally find out that this case is part of the election. On the other hand, Boon Ok, who had helped Dr. Kang, was afraid. She finds Seung Hee's radio and accidentally communicates with Eun Young Ro. She thinks that, if she reports everything, Eun Young Ro will provide protection and guarantee her safety. But just before she told him everything, Kang Moo immediately stopped her and insisted that she should be ashamed of her actions. Kang Moo explains that Boon Ok has made a lot of mistakes and that she should be tied up with another student. But Seung Hee always tries to protect her. However, she was silent and didn't understand why Seung Hee cared about her so much. In the dormitory, Soo Ho asked the higher-ups to supply food through Han Na. He also used the opportunity to make a new plan with him. Things were quiet for a while. At that time, Soo Ho accidentally recorded Young Ro's recording when she told him about her first love. Hearing the recording, he smiled until he added the recording with his voice. Until now, Young Ro's feelings for Soo Ho have not changed. Even though he had been rude to her all this time, she knew he was only pretending. And that was evident from his actions when he repeatedly tried to protect her from dangerous things. The next day, Young Ro came to comfort Soo Ho, who was worried about Han Na's safety. At that time, she asked why he took such a dangerous job and why he didn't quit if he didn't like it. He explained that it was his destiny and he couldn't just stop. He once took someone's life and those who were victims always haunted him. Hearing that, Young Ro says that the coffee Soo Ho made can erase bad memories. He smiles as she drinks the coffee he made and makes a wish that she wants to forget the embarrassing memories of being at the record store. Soo Ho teases Young Ro that he will keep those memories and will always remember them. After that, he continues to drink the coffee while remembering all his bad deeds against her and hopes all those memories will be erased. Young Ro replies by saying that she will also erase those memories. Kang Moo's actions were eventually discovered by the higher-ups, who considered him to have defected. Things get even more chaotic when the higher-ups start trying to break into the girls' dormitory to save Young Ro and Dr. Kang. They also plan to blow up the hostel with the hostages and accuse the spy of being the culprit. Young Ro pleads with Soo Ho to let her talk to her father and hopes he will loosen up. Unfortunately, the plan doesn't go well because Tae-il shoots Chong-soo and accuses the spy of being the culprit. He did that to remove Chong-soo from the throne. Tae-il, who has not realized that Dr. Kang is a North Korean spy, leads troops to save her. At that time, she decided to help Soo Ho. She acts as if her life is in danger, so Tae-il and his squad choose to withdraw. She found a solution to save everyone. Officials from South Korea have not paid the money promised to the North Korean side. Dr. Kang plans to steal it by taking advantage of her unknown identity to the higher-ups. They could make a deal with Ji-rock and return safely. Dr. Kang did this because of Soo Ho. She hopes that Soo Ho will accept her love after completing this mission. But it's not as easy as turning the palm of the hand. However, she promises to come back and ask Soo Ho to give his answer after the mission is over. Slowly but surely, Dr. Kang tricked various parties to get the amount of money she received in the form of bank certificates. But the contents don't go smoothly when her identity as a spy is finally revealed. On the other hand, Ji-rock orders Soo Ho to blow himself up with the hostages, and his sister's life is at stake. Things get even more chaotic when Young Ro's identity as the daughter of director Eun Young Ro is also exposed. Everyone felt cheated, especially her roommates, and even she was exiled. Trials keep coming for her. Even after the death of her older brother, Young Ro must accept the fact that her father is now lying weakly in the hospital without knowing whether his condition will survive or not. Seeing that, Soo Ho tried to calm her down and hugged her. Chong-soo, who managed to survive, immediately made a deal with Soo Ho. The plan this time is to save the female students and then blow up the dormitory and tell the public that it was spy work. That way, Soo Ho and his friends will get a new life and Ji-rock won't hurt his sister. Instead, Soo Ho and Kang Moo must not get in the way of his plans to take over the government. They had no other choice, and finally, the plan was carried out. In North Korea, Ji-rock is finally arrested by the regulatory agency because his plot to get money is not worth the loss. His female representative, Soo Yeon, was overjoyed as she had been trying to get rid of him for a long time. It was then revealed that she was Soo Ho's biological mother, who had left him as a child for a position. Ironically, she asked Kim Ra-chu to kill Soo Ho if his ideology began to change. Soo-yeon does that because she has been blinded by position, and she pretends not to realize that Soo Ho is her real son. On the other hand, Soo Ho finally found out that his mother was still alive. How heartbroken he was after knowing his mother didn't care about him. Many secrets eventually continue to be revealed. At the dorm, Boon Ok finally finds out that Seung Hee was once close to her late older sister. In the past, they were good friends until finally, her older sister snatched the man who was already engaged to Seung Hee. At that time, Seung Hee's fiancé was an activist who opposed dictatorships. The cunning Ahn Gi-boo framed and accused him of being a spy and hurting him. The bad thing is that Seung Hee, who doesn't know anything, is dragged away by Ahn Gi-boo. Unable to stand it, Seung Hee makes a false confession and says that Boon Ok's older sister is a spy. Unable to stand his treatment, Boon Ok's older sister finally decided to end her life. From then on, Ahn Gi-boo offered Seung Hee the position of dorm director, which she couldn't refuse. She feels sorry for Boon Ok's older sister, even she has snatched her fiancé. That's why she had been trying to protect Boon Ok all this time and was against it when she tried to help Ahn Gi-boo. Seung Hee kept it a secret because she was afraid and only thought of moving on with her life no matter what. Dr. Kang finally returned to the dormitory. Soo Ho did not fully trust Chong-soo until he devised a plan to escape. Before parting ways, Young Ro gives the scarf her older brother gave to her and asks him to return it when they meet again. Soo Ho feels unsure that he will return to see her and reluctantly returns her scarf. The plan began, and what Soo Ho had feared came true. Chong-soo didn't really intend to help him until he chose to escape in another way. Soo Ho and his friends left first, while Young Ro and the others waited to be picked up. His friends had arrived at the port first, but they were shot by Mon Dong, the hostile guard, who turned out to be a North Korean spy. He has just received orders from his superiors to get rid of the people who betrayed him. The next day, Soo Ho and Dr. Kang received news on the radio that Tae-il had taken over the task force and stated that Young Ro had helped the spy to escape. Because of that, Chong-soo was finally fired from his position. Soo Ho decides to return to the dormitory to save Young Ro. But not long after, Mon Dong and another agent found Soo Ho and Dr. Kang. Soo Ho realized that all of his friends had died. They argue, and Mon Dong's heart is touched when he hears Young Ro's name. Because while in the dorm, he was very close to her. His doubts make the other agents try to shoot Soo Ho, but Mon Dong protects him. Until he died after a shootout with his friends. On the other hand, Han Na barged into the broadcast room with a reporter helping her. They tried to reveal the truth to the public, but soon their broadcast was cut off. The reporter was finally arrested, while Han Na managed to escape. Dr. Kang finally understands Soo Ho's feelings, and she lets him go. She handed him bank certificates worth hundreds of millions, because then no one would try to harm him. Soo Ho refuses and says she should use the money to start a new life. He ordered her to take his friends' families abroad so that those who had died could leave in peace. After that, Soo Ho thanked her, and they both parted ways. After struggling desperately to get the bus, Han Na comes to the dormitory to save the female students. Unfortunately, Seung Hee, Boon Ok, and Young Ro are trapped inside, trying to save one of the injured dormitory officers. Things got even more chaotic when Tae-il's troops tried to break into the dormitory and arrested everyone in the dormitory who was labeled a traitor. Soo Ho came at the last moment. He and Kang Moo fought together to protect those who were left. When cornered, Soo Ho asks Kang Moo to bring Young Ro because only Kang Moo can protect her after leaving the dorm. Meanwhile, Soo Ho will hold Tae-il's troops. Thankfully, they managed to get out, but Young Ro followed her heart and went back to meet Soo Ho, who managed to survive. Young Ro cries seeing Soo Ho covered in blood, and they hide on the roof. At that time, he tries to make a deal with Tae-il that he carries a $300 million account previously stolen by Dr. Kang. He explains that only he and Young Ro know the password. But before Tae-il gave the order to cancel the operation, his troops managed to find Soo Ho and attacked him with bullets. Tae-il's orders finally arrive, and Young Ro survives the gunfire, while Soo Ho is shot dead. At the last moment, Soo Ho hands Young Ro a tape containing his voice recording and tells her to move on with life. Shortly afterward, he died. After what happened, the ruling party remained in power. But Chong-soo, Tae-il, and other high-ranking officials involved in the election ended up imprisoned. The president-elect promised to make changes that the people have been waiting for. Time passes, and Kang Moo and Han Na start a new life. It seems their love story blossomed again. Meanwhile, Seung Hee returns to being the dormitory director, and Boon Ok helps her with her duties. On one occasion, Young Ro visited the cafe where she first met Soo Ho. She listened to the tape that he had given her. In the recording, Soo Ho says that he fell in love with her the first time he saw her and always wished he could ask her out and spend time with her. It's just that Soo Ho was born a spy who carried out heavy duties for his country. At the end of the recording, he says he will leave, but he will remember Young Ro forever, and he loves her very much. Her presence in his life might have created hope for him. Hope to live together and be happy. Even though he left in the end, every memory they ever made would never be lost. This is the end of the movie. The moral that can be learned from this movie is that in life, there are times when things don't go as expected. There are times when you have to accept bad luck and accept them. Separation is a very difficult reality to accept, but it is a consequence of encounters such as life and death. Believe that life is a series of natural changes and only creates sadness if it is forced. Let reality be real and let things flow naturally.